What up, guys? In today's video, I'm teaching you how to whip any bike you want. So, I've been doing whips for probably like 2 years now. I started trying to do them like last summer on that exact jump right there, if you can see it. And I was terrible at that, so, you know. You start off somewhere. And I just watched a ton of videos, and at first I could not get it. I don't know, it sucked and couldn't get it, and it took me many tries, and then eventually I got better and better, and I just started riding. I tried it on my brother's bike. My bike was broken. I tried it on all kinds, whatever, and I started getting good on whatever. It's actually really simple. So I've been doing whips for a while, and I'd love to teach you guys. So let's get right into it. First, you're gonna want a bike. Just about any bike will work. You got your full suspension, your hardtail, and your BMX. These all are totally different bikes though. Like, this bike is a 40-pound, 200mm downhill bike, and a 100mm hardtail, and a full ridge BMX. There's a big difference in all of them. The whip technique is basically all the same with them, just the weight is the massive difference and makes it a lot harder with some of these. The downhill bike, like I said, it's 40 pounds, so it's really heavy. This one's more heavy in the front because of this big triple clamp fork. And this one is like 29 pounds, you know, your average hardtail weight, and you know, like a 27-pound BMX. It's very different. And the wheel sizes too, like this one's a 20-inch, this one's a 27.5, this one's also 27.5. But a lot of full suspensions and hardtails are 29 inches. These are both size smalls, so that's why. But it's not a crazy big difference of them. It's the same technique. And yeah, but you also, another thing that's very important with this, helmets. You need a helmet with this. You need a helmet for any kind of mountain biking. If it's like your first time ever trying this trick, I would definitely go with the full face. Protects your jaw, protects your head better. I mean, I don't know, like chin and everything. And if you do, I'm just gonna use this because I like it better than that. It's a little bit easier to ride around on. Because I do whips all the time. This is probably, it's like my second year doing whips. So I'm just gonna wear my half shell. And yeah, techniques are the same for all the jumps, for all the bikes. It's definitely different on different types of jumps though. So I'm gonna go down to a jump and just sort of explain the basics of a whip. Another massive thing is whips is find a jump you're comfortable with. Don't just go to a bike park and find a jump that's like massive and you've never really hit it before and it's really hard for you. Go find a jump that you're really comfortable with. I hit all these jumps all the time because it's my backyard, you know. House is right over there. So I'm very comfortable with all these jumps. If you're first starting on whips, I'd say start on a small jump just like this one. This one has about a 4-foot, 5-foot gap, and it's not tall or steep or anything, so it'll be a good starter jump. And it'll probably give you just enough air time to try it out. If you can though, and you're more comfortable, as you see that jump right up there, that one's about 7 feet. That was the first jump I ever started waking whips on. But for your sake, that one has terrible lighting up there. It's just like, you know, shadows. I'm not gonna record up there. I'm gonna record on this jump because it's still doable. So yeah, first I'm gonna start off with this small jump, and I'm just gonna show you the basic technique. So I got my downhill bike because this is the bike that I like the most, and I'm really comfortable on it. So I grabbed this bike, but if I were you, I would grab either your like lighter bike, probably not your XC bike if you have one. But if you only have one bike, doesn't matter, grab a bike. It's a BMX, hardtail, full suspension, doesn't matter. If you have multiple bikes, pick the one that's either lighter and the most comfortable on you. So first, when you're starting off on a whip, find your jump, and you want to go in with enough speed. And the first main thing is help out with getting bigger whips. This is what I've noticed helps me out recently. I sort of like to turn up the whip like that. So I start on straight. That's going to get harder with smaller jumps, but if you try to turn up the whip, you can carve up the whip. Sort of like when you do on a scrub. In past videos I told you how to scrub before. That's something that's very helpful. And once you get off the whip, pretty much the first thing I would do is just work on your bar turns in the air, just like this. As you see, all I did is just turn my front wheel, and I probably already got the start of a whip. If maybe you saw that my back wheel came out a little bit, who knows? Maybe, I don't know, something. But that's like a really good thing to get started with. I didn't carve off the lift at all. All I did was go up there, pull up, and I turn my bar in the air. can't do that, make sure you're able to do that first on a small jump or engine comfortable on. The next part of a whip, after you do your carve and your bar turn, that will already get you a decent whip. But the next big step is with your hip. You want to push your hips out. Oh, here. I'm gonna go over here, and I'm just gonna show you, like, on flat ground, if I just push my hips out, that's just no front grip at all. That's just what I want to do in the air. Just push your hips out that way, with your feet on the pedals, and you can make your, make your rear wheel push out on a whip, even on flat ground. Another thing about whips, figure out where you're comfortable turning your bars. If you're comfortable turning your bars that way, you're gonna whip that way. If you're comfortable turning your bars this way, you're gonna whip this way. Whichever one is more comfortable and easy for you is definitely the best way. For me, this is way more comfortable. I can like turn my bars and this is how I do a table, turn my bars that way. But whatever you're comfortable with. So that's really most of the whip already. Is you just go up the lip, carve up the lip. You also want to pull up a decent amount, turn your bars and push out your hips, and you've got a whip. I'll show you that right now. So as you just saw, I actually had a pretty decent whip there. They were both, whatever. I thought they were good size. And if you just do that, that's gonna get you a pretty decent sized whip. So just practice that for a while. And then the really last step to whipping is just, if you're on a small jump, don't really care about this. This is fine. What you want to do is you want to turn into the whip, get your whip out, and then you want to turn out of the whip so you land flat instead of just landing with your rear wheel out. On my hardtail, I actually destroyed 2 different wheels from just doing whips over and over again. I used to have the stock wheel in my hardtail, and that Marlin 5 was super crappy wheel, whatever. And after doing 10 whips, it was I had to chew a lot. And then I got a pretty nice rim. It was like a nicer quick release rim because my that bike is quick release, and I destroyed it too. And now I have like a DT Swiss EX 511 with Cushcore in it, so that rim is super nice now and holds up to all my whips. And this bike has nice and strong rims because it's a downhill bike, but that's another part of it. Now I want to go show you on a bigger jump that I can do bigger whips on and just do a better whip all in all, probably bring it back a lot too. Be this jump right here. It's not a big jump really at all. It's like probably 8 foot gap, so not big, but it's my favorite jump probably out here in my yard. And I got a lot of jumps, one right there, got a drop over there, got another jump right there, up here, whatever. I have probably 30 jumps in here. This is probably my favorite one. So this is one I'm also very comfortable doing whips on. And I'm gonna show you me doing some whips on it, and then do a slow-mo and explain everything I did and show you whip and the technique I had and if it was a good whip or not. So this is my first whip. As you see, I turned into it, used my hips, got it out, and then brought it back a decent amount. That was actually a pretty decent whip. I could have done a little bit better with carving up the lip, but that's about it. Okay, that was actually a pretty good whip. Now I'm gonna go faster and try to carve up the lip more, and try to get even bigger one and bring it back more. Okay, so come up the lip, don't really turn on it. It's a really big whip, and I brought it back all the way. So that was honestly a great whip. Not a lot I could have done really differently. I could have kept my front bar to keep turning with it, and it could have turned up the lip more, but that's really about it. And with this next one, I didn't really turn up the lip again. And I sort of used my hips a bit too much there. I used them better, but I didn't turn my front bar with it, so it sort of just looked like I don't know, it looked sort of funky. And it could have looked better, but it was a great whip other than that. Alright, that was my video. Hope you liked it. Hope you learned some stuff. I actually learned some stuff. I realized that I wasn't really using my hips enough. My whips are using them the correct way, and my whip's actually getting better now. I'm really happy with it. And hopefully you can get yours better too. And if you, like I said, if you learned anything from this video, please like and subscribe. I spent a lot of time on this video. It helped me a lot. I'm trying to get to 500 subs. I'm almost there, but 450. It'd be really nice. And I'll see you in my next video.